Hi everybody, thank you for joining us once again. I wish you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you're on. I hope it's good for you. And I also hope you've had a great week, kept safe and well for you and your family and all your loved ones. Firstly, I got to explain what "oh yay" means for those of you that may not be sure. In olden times, shall we say, before mobile phones, much before mobile phones, when there was ever any announcements to be made from the, let's say, the town hall or the lord of the manor, they used to have a town crier, and this was a very well dressed gentleman that probably used to dress up a little bit like one of the English beefeaters in the Tower of London, if you need a visual reference. And they had a bell in their hand, and they always had a scroll, and they would walk round the town ringing the bell, and they would say, "Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay," and what that basically translates to is "listen to me." And at that point he would probably drop the scroll so it unrolled, and he could read whatever notice, whatever announcement that the people in power of that village had to share. Not always good news, and that was his cry as he walked around the town, "Oh yay," which says basically people took to mean listen to me. And then gather up close. People would gather around him in a group, and he'd read what had to be said, and then he'd move on to another venue in the town. So that's the meaning of "oh yay," and I'm sure you'll sleep much better now for knowing that. A little bit of trivia. Okay, today's healing is going to be, obviously we'll end up with a planetary healing as we always do, which is probably the purpose of the healing circle. But what I'd like to incorporate tonight is counting, sharing with a lot of the groups around that are doing conservation work. Maybe big groups and small groups. We saw a program the other night on television where some of the kids sort of at junior school in the UK, and these are 8, 9, 10 years old, were getting involved in conservation work on the land and on the beaches, and what they were doing was quite amazing. It's as though most of the kids at that age really care what the planet is going to be like when it comes time for them to inherit it and take charge. And it was really amazing what they were achieving, even small groups of half a dozen. And there was one issue. There was one time when a couple of kids at school started a program. I think they called themselves the Back Garden Warriors, perhaps. And then by the time they made the TV program, they had 10,500 members, 10,500 kids throughout the UK had signed on with the idea of they would perpetuate whatever the original idea was. They would do that in their local area, and obviously, and so that energy would spread. That's just one example of a tiny group of people in a country of, I don't know, 50 million, however many there are in the UK, how a small group of half a dozen people can effect a meaningful change. So I'm going to include those within the meditation once we get to the point when we're actually radiating it outwards beyond us and our family and friends. I'm going to include that. So now we all know what's happening, we can make a start, I reckon. So as usual, I'd like you all to get comfortable sitting in your chair if you're not already, and as I always say, if you're not comfortable, why not? You've had at least 5 minutes to get ready. I don't know. Anyway, get comfortable, get sorted out, get comfortable, and let's start as usual by taking a nice deep breath in And as we breathe in, be aware of breathing in the peacefulness, the calmness, that energy that we seek. And with each out breath, be aware of any of the negativity, any of the little nagging thoughts that fill our minds sometime. Did I turn the cooker off? Did I lock the door? Did I this? Did I that? Let all those thoughts go. Then we start to set up a rhythm in our breathing like that. With each in-breath, we're breathing in a beautiful, peaceful energy. And with the out-breath, we're gradually releasing the last remnants of the trauma, the stress that's within us at the moment. So just take a few minutes to take a nice couple of deep breaths. And on the exhale, you'll feel a bit lighter, a bit more at peace, a bit better balanced within your being. And so as we continue to breathe in, we become aware of that lovely peaceful energy inside of us has developed a colour. It has a colour blue, which is the colour of healing. And we also notice that, again with each in-breath, that blue ball inside us is growing. It's filling our entire being. It starts in our stomach and it moves up through our ribs to our heart, where it lingers a little longer as it brings some peace and some unconditional love into us. And we notice we feel quite at peace with this new feeling of balance. Then the blue light works its way down through our hips and our thighs, down through our knees, where again it lingers a little bit, helping to dissipate some of the negativity, as we do tend to hold some stress in our kneecaps, believe it or believe it not. And we give this healing energy the chance to ease that dis-ease that is within us. And at the same time, the blue light is moving up from our heart, moves up to the top of our chest, to our shoulders, where it is like a very gentle massage as the blue light caresses our skin, our shoulders, and it comes up our throat and over our face, helping our facial muscles relax. And we can relax and allow them to relax in the form of a smile. And again at the same time the blue light is coming up the back of our shoulders, the back of our neck, over the back of our head, to the top of our head. And by now the blue light has gone down past our shins, through our ankles, to our feet, and it goes beyond our feet, down through the floor to the earth below us. And as we sit here, with every cell of our being is being massaged, being brought to balance by the healing energy, we just take the opportunity to know that our body and ourselves are gradually becoming back into balance as they are designed to be. So the modern day stresses have been left behind. And we're just sitting in this beautiful energy that is within us. and just enjoy that feeling. Just relish in that feeling of peace and balance that is within us. And now we gradually begin to radiate that blue light beyond us in all directions. As the blue light streams into us continually, we continue to radiate it out. And at this first stage, I just ask you to call to mind any family, loved ones, near and dear ones to you, who you may think could benefit from this healing light. We invite them to join us within this light. And for those that accept the invite, they too become aware of a beautiful, peaceful feeling, and the peace is within, like an inner peace that we tend to forget. And at the same time, their bodies come into a natural balance also. And now we radiate that light out a bit further, so it encompasses people we know, acquaintances, people we may meet every day, a nod of the head, a short greeting, and say acquaintances in our life that come and go. We invite them to join us also within this blue light, so that they too begin to become aware of an inner peace within them, and that sense of balance. And those that accept it as near and dear ones, they too feel the benefit. And as always, the healing energy that we radiate outwards to anyone other than ourselves. It is done by invitation. We offer it to them. We do not force it upon them. It is entirely their choice. And now, again, we begin to radiate that light out beyond us, beyond ourselves, our family and our acquaintances. We radiate that light outwards in all directions, including an upward and downward radiation. We radiate it out for all to share that wish to be a part of it. And we see it like a blue blanket, a thick blue fluffy blanket gradually working its way out over the surface of our planet, sharing its energy with anyone who cares to take part in it. to take advantage of it for their own personal good and for the highest good of all concerned. And as we radiate it out, we think of all the people, all the carers on our planet, the people, the emergency workers, emergency service workers, the hospitals, all the caregivers, all the people that help those establishments function to the best of their capacity and their ability. And we also think of aged care establishments, even we count the prisons, and anywhere, all the carers who are looking after loved ones in private homes. The invite goes out to all of those people and all of their kind who do a similar job, with the main theme is to take care of someone else. And we send them the healing light so it shines on them. It helps bring them an inner peace as they do their job. And to help them retain a state of balance as well. And at the same time, we still continue to radiate the blue light, healing light, further and further around our planet. And we notice it is not only for humankind, for mankind, it is for all the animal kingdom, whether they be wild animals or domestic pets, it matters not. And we also call to mind the wild animals. And we spare an extra thought for all those animals, whether they be wild or domesticated. We spare a thought for those animals who are greatly suffering at the hands of man, for mankind's personal gain, that they're suffering. When we think of all the animals that are very close to extinction, we send an extra bit of blue light to these animals to help them procreate their species and come away from extinction. And now we see our planet is completely wrapped in this blue, thick blue blanket, or thick blue layer of healing energy, like a blue mist around our planet. And within that mist, we look and we can see carefully small groups and large groups of people who have got together with their sole purpose is conservation of our planet and all of the life streams upon it. And we ask that they be given the strength and the courage to keep up the work that they are doing. When we see the blue mist as it reaches our oceans, how it gradually almost sinks into the water, and as it breaks the surface of the water and continues downward to the ocean floor, however deep, we see the blue healing mist deep in the ocean, helping once again to purify our oceans of mankind's garbage. And we ask that the creatures survive and thrive in clean waters. And now we cast our eyes upwards to the birds in the sky. And as a blue light also works with those birds, bringing them a sense of happiness and peace. And we listen to the bird song and we notice it sounds slightly different. It sounds less of an alarm call and more of a song of joy. And we think also of the areas on our planet that are suffering natural disasters, whether it be wind damage, water damage, or fire. We ask that the people in these areas have a little bit extra strength to see them through. And to help them to deal with any sorrow they may be facing through loved ones who have been lost. When we think of areas on our planet that have disasters created by man, by having wars and throwing bombs, explosives at each other, leaving the surface of our planet scarred. When we spend some time radiating the blue energy out, pulling it down into us so that we can direct it outwards in all directions. And it is there for any life stream, mankind, the animal kingdom, and also the trees and the bushes that grow, and especially the trees that soak up some of the carbon, and the oceans. And I leave you with that for a few minutes while you radiate it forever outwards. So now, unfortunately, it's time to begin the journey back. You just take your time. The imagery that you have created, just keep that with you. Keep that in your mind. And gradually allow your awareness to return. And as usual, wriggle your fingers, stretch your fingers, wriggle your toes a bit, and even rub your feet on the floor. And then have a bit of a stretch as we finally close down the healing energy flowing through us. Although we don't close it down, we just restrict it, because it is always there for all of us to use whenever we see fit. And always remember, you can always use the healing on yourself if need be. So as we come towards the end of tonight's gathering, as always, I thank you all for being a part of it, for giving up half an hour of your time so that we can share and radiate this energy outwards. So thank you once again for joining us. And now it's time to go and back to our everyday life, or just sit down and think about what we've just done together. Okay, so I'd say thank you, and until next week, have a great time, look after yourselves and all your loved ones. Okay, thank you and goodbye, good night.